Patient prayer. Om Shuklam Bharadram Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Vadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vigno Pashantaye Yasyatma Bhosyatya Kuru Prasadat Aham Vimuktosmi Sharira Bandhat Sarvopadeshtu Purushotamasya Tasyangri Padma Pranatosmi Nityam प्रहलाद नारद पराधर पुंडरीक व्यासामृष सुख सौनक भीष्मदल्भ्यान् रुक्मांग उद्धव विभीषण पल्गुनादीन पुण्यानिमां परम भागवतं नमामि जन्मादि अस्य यतो अन्वयाद् इतरसर्चा अर्थेषु अभिज्ञा स्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदय आदि हवये मुह्यन्त्यः सूरयः तेजो वारिमृतां यथा विनिमयो यत्र सर्गोऽमृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकोऽहं सत्यं परं धीमहि धर्म प्रोचित कैतव अत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सतां वेद्यं वास्तवम् अत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनम् श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृत किं वा परैरीश्वरः सदयो हृदि अवरुध्यते अत्र कृतिभिः सुक्षुश्रीसत्सनात् निगम कल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं सुखमुखात् अमृतं द्रव संयुक्तं विवद भागवतं रसमालय मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् वासुदेवे भगवती भक्तियोगप्रयोजितः जनयातु आयुषु वैराग्यं ज्ञानं च यद् अहैतुकम् शृण्वतां स्वकदकृष्णा पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृदयन्तस्थो हि अभद्राणि विदुनोति सुहृत्सताम् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतः सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी वासुदेव परा वेदा वासुदेव परामकाः वासुदेव परा योगा वासुदेव परा क्रियाः वासुदेव परं ज्ञानं वासुदेवं परं तपः वासुदेव परो धर्म वासुदेव परा गतिः कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नाम संकीर्तनं यस्य सर्वपापप्रणाशनं प्रणामदुःखशमनस्तं नमामि हरिं परम् हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे Hare Krishna. One second, please. In the previous classes, we've been seeing is where Krishna killing many demons, starting from Putana, where Putana was representing the pseudo gurus, meaning the people, the gurus who are disguised, who are really not gurus, but they're cheaters. In the name of guru, they cheat common innocent people. Like how Putana was really a demon, but then she disguised herself like a nice person. Can you think of another person who also disguised and came and cheated? Meher?
Sakatasura.
Yeah, outside of Krishna's story, In
um,
in Ramayana, who did the similar thing? Came like a good guy.
Ravan,
Yes, Ravana. So
and Ravan's the fig deer.
yeah, that's
What you
fine.
think?
Yeah, thank you. So that is from Putana, where we have to be, what we learn is we have to be very careful in selecting and choosing our gurus. Not everyone is genuine, and there are genuine gurus as well. So we have to know the concept of guru, how to look for guru, who's the right guru, and so forth. Otherwise, we may get into someone like Putana. The next Asura that we saw were Sakatasura. Sakatasura, who took the form of a cart, bullock cart, and he came and he represented those bad habits, the load of bad habits that we've been carrying for many, many, many lifetimes. So that is what Sakatasura represents. So we also have many bad habits that we've been carrying for several lifetimes. Sometimes we accumulate some new bad habits as well. And those are all represented by Sakatasura. Then we saw the third demon called Trinavarta. Trinavarta represented the false ego, false pride, pride of being oneself to be great in scholarship, and sometimes that becomes a problem. So one has to be very careful not to be proud of what they have, especially if you are very knowledgeable. It's very easy to get carried away thinking how great, how much I know compared to other people. This happens in the schools also. When you are a very good student, outstanding student, and someone is not, then naturally sometimes we may start thinking I am better off, better than this person doesn't know anything. And that is represented by Trinavarta, and that also he was also killed by Krishna. And then we saw the deliverance of Nalakuvara and then Manigriva, the two trees which was on the backyard of Nanda Maharaj. And Krishna delivered those two. Yeah, you can. I saw your hand. You can keep it down. It's going to hurt you otherwise. I saw you. We'll talk about it. 1 second. Give me. Let me finish this. Okay. Or you can put your symbol there. Raise hand. So I remember to call you. So deliverance of Nalakuvera and Manigriva, that represented arrogancy, arrogant, being very arrogant, whereas the Trinavarta being pride, having pride, whereas Nalakuvera and Manigrivas being arrogant. Thinking oneself great is one aspect, but then because of thinking oneself to be great, and then we start treating others arrogantly, right? So that also comes as a result of being pride, having pride, being puffed up, thinking puffed up, when you're being puffed up, then you start treating others badly. Hmm? So that is what we learned from Nalakwera and Manigreva story, where they were wealthiest people. They were one high class family, which got into their head, which got into their head. Therefore, they were very arrogant. Like they disrespected Narada Muni. We learned that thing from that particular story. So next we also saw the story of Vatsasura, a calf demon. That is, the lesson we learned from that particular Asura, Vatsasura, is having a childish mentality. Childish mentality. Some of the childish mentality is, doing a tit for tat. You said something to me, Akshara. You told me that I look like a donkey. Then I am going to tell you look like a parrot. Parrot is beautiful. I cannot say anything else other than parrot to you. So I picked parrot. But when the children fight, they take some other names. You look monkey. I'm looking donkey, and you look like a dog. I'm like a street dog, and whatever you can think of. Right. So. Uh, Now the children have these sort of mentalities. They fight with each other, and then try to not share with each other, right? All this sort of childish mentality, it's what represented by Vatsasura. Sometimes even the adults carry these mentalities, right? Childish mentalities. Sometimes they try to hide things, not sharing things. Those are some of the childish mentality. Hmm? And then we saw Bakasura. Bakasura is a crane, the asura who came in the form of a crane, and then he represent the cunning nature, duplicity, right? Cunning nature, uh, meaning not having duplicity, meaning not being as you are, rather trying to be good, be nice in the front, but then you talk bad about the person in the back, right? So those are the duplicity. Do say something and do something else, right? That's not, in other words, not being straightforward. Not being straightforward. We also be very careful when we talk about being straightforward. You can be straightforward, but you cannot be rude also when you're being straightforward. We have to convey the message, if it is good, in a nicer way, not in a rude way, not in a heavy way. Sometimes you have to be strong also in conveying certain messages, because people doesn't understand. Then you have to be strong in conveying a message also. So that's a different aspect of how to convey messages. So that we learn from Bakasura. Next is Agasura. Agasura is what? A snake, right? A big serpent, a huge one. That we learn, the bad qualities that we learn from Agasura is cruelty and violence. Violent, cruel, being cruel to people, right? Some living entities, torturing them, giving hard time to them, committing violence to them physically also, right? Sometimes do you all brothers sister behave violently, pushing each other and fighting, and you know throwing off things sometime, right? So Mahati is laughing. Maybe she is having some sort of this games with her brother, I think. Why is Mahati, your one of the chair is empty? Where is your brother? You doesn't like to hear the stories? Why is he not sitting next to you?
He is bored and is trying to eat. Like he is trying to make something too. By the way, he
Ah, there you go. Very good, Krishna.
he was also
Please.
trying to eat sugar.
Oh, that's a secret why you disappeared. Now you're all seated nicely. Fasten your seat belt. Do not move. Okay. All right. So Agasura, that's what we learned from Agasura, cruelty and violence. And then the last class, 1 month back, we saw. Who remember what the last one we saw? Yeah,
Damodarashtakam.
Damodarashtakam?
Oh, sorry.
No, Sarvari, go ahead.
Brahma Vimohana.
Brahma Vimohana Leela. That's the one that we ended. That's the last story we saw. So Sarvari is going to quickly give a very fast 2 minutes of what is this Brahma Vimohana Leela to all of us, and bring us to today's session. Go ahead, Sarvari.
So we learned that Brahma was wanting to see like the pastimes of Krishna. So when he, Krishna, and his friends and the calves went to the forest, while they were eating, all the calves were missing. So then Krishna, with the pickle and the rice in his hands, went to look for the calves, but he couldn't find them anywhere. And when he came back, his friends were missing too. He knew that Brahma had taken his friends, but instead of doing anything, he instead created himself and manifested into all of the calves and the friends. And then they went back and he lived like this for 1 year while all the friends were like in a cave. And then finally, Brahma figured out that Krishna is like the supreme personality. So Krishna talked to Brahma, and then Brahma said, apologize for doing that. And he gave all the friends and calves back. But Balaram didn't go, so he didn't know about this. And when he figured out that Krishna was actually everybody in the village, like all the kids and the calves, he was very surprised. And this happened for 1 year. And then when Brahma returned everybody, Krishna showed him that there was multiple Brahmas in like the different universes. And then Brahma learned that he should remain in his place and that Krishna is the supreme personality.
Very, very nicely summarized. You really, I took 1 2 day 2 classes. You really nicely summarized the essence of the whole story. So what we learn from Brahma Vimohana Leela is the having a speculative scholarism, meaning um, uh, having an idea, one's own intellectual idea of certain things, of seeing things in a different aspect, right? So that is what we learned from the pastime, in this pastime, where Brahma had his own perspective, own ideas about certain things. He was speculating. So this is what we understand, and we have to be very careful in that aspect as well. So these are the different pastimes we have seen. Each and every story that we saw has so much for us to learn, as you can see. And these stories are just not bedtime stories. It can be a bedtime story, but at the same time, we have to understand, we have to learn the message from the stories, and we have to incorporate, we have to apply in our life. And life is full of opportunities. Yes, we get so much opportunities to practice what we learn in our Bhagavatam class. So you children are so amazing, wonderful kids. Make sure you apply these things. Otherwise, what happens is Sakatasura carried a load full of bad habits. Like that, we all will also be carrying load full of knowledge, but then we will not have a practical realization. Hello, Rukmini. Thanks for joining. You're online now. So that is a thing that we have to be applying what we learn in our life. Otherwise, we just become a data collector. We have so much information, we know everything, but we don't practice it, right? So let's make sure we all practice these things what we learn in our Bhagavatam class. Hello, Bhavya. Nice to see you after a long time. Of
Hare
course, we
Krishna
saw during Maharaj.
Prabhuji.
Is Gauransh also there with you?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna
Okay.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Where is your lotus face? Can I see that? There you go. The lotus face is having a glass. That's nice. And is Anirudh also here? I see Anirudh uh, logged in today after a long time. Anirudh, you're there? There you go, Anirudh.
Hare
Hmm. Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. It looks like you've grown in few weeks so much. Okay. Is Samanvi is here or she's busy?
No, Prabhu, she's another class. She'll join soon.
Yeah, she's super busy. She has multiple classes. Yes, good. Okay, so you all please make sure that you also apply what we learn. Okay. Now, with that said, Krishna now is in the age called Pauganda. Pauganda means it's a age. It's a stage between 6 to 7 years. Sorry, 6 to 10 years. This 6 to 10 years is called Pauganda, and there are a lot of pastime that Krishna does during this period of time also. Now Krishna has become a quite a big boy now. Is quite a big boy now. So he, as usual, he goes, taking the cows to the forest of Vrindavan, and then graze the cows over there, and continues to play his flutes. So he likes to play flutes, his flute. And then the boys play around with Krishna, enjoy the melodious, the flute play that Krishna does. And one time Krishna had a nice conversation. He went to his brother Balaram. He said, "My dear brother, look at these nice trees. These trees are all bending towards your feet. They are all bending, trying to bend and touch your feet." So Krishna is praising and glorifying his brother Balaram. The trees are bending to touch your, paying their obeisances, bowing down to your feet, and they are offering their fruits at your lotus feet and the flowers at your lotus feet. The bees are not, doesn't seem to be ordinary bees. They must be a great sages, saints, and yogis, because they are coming around you, singing your glories. The bees make some sound, some sort of a sound, right? So it's what Krishna is saying, that these bees are nothing but it's just glorifying you. And the peacocks are dancing before you as you walk in the forest. The peacocks are also dancing, and they're glancing at your beautiful face, like how the gopis look at you, they're also glancing at you. The birds are singing Vedic songs. They're all singing Vedic songs. Look at these bushes and grasses of Vrindavan. They are also blessed because of touch of your lotus feet. So look at this river, mountain, birds, animals, and all those things are grazing, glancing at you. So like this, Krishna was glorifying Balaram, and at the time Krishna was closing his eyes and then enjoying the cool breeze, and they were all walking. Sometimes Krishna will imitate like this parrot. He'll speak like parrot, and looking Krishna speaking like parrot, imitating like parrot. And then the other boys will also try to imitate like cuckoo birds and swans, and then makes different sounds like different birds, right? Different birds. So Akshara, can you make a sound of some birds that you're familiar with? What bird are you familiar? Can you make a sound like a bird? Unmute.
Prabhuji, I only know chip chip. That's all.
Which one?
I only know chip chip.
I didn't hear what she said.
She said that she only knows the bird voice of chirp.
Yeah, she knows the bird which says.
Yeah, hold on. Let her speak. I, I want to hear from her. So you want to make some sound of a bird, Akshara?
She only knows chirp chirp. That's what she said.
Hold on, Meher. I'm talking to her. Let me talk to her.
I only know chip chip, Prabhuji.
Che? What is it?
Chip chip, Prabhuji.
All right. Oh, Anirudh is going to make some sounds now. Let's all hear from him. Go ahead, Anirudh.
Tweet, tweet, tweet.
Oh, tweak. Okay, that's good. That's good. So now we are going to see anyone else can do it. Make a sound. Anyone else? No? Yeah, Mahati, go ahead. Sound like some bird. What bird?
My brother wants to try. I'll try after him.
Okay, brother, what are you going to do? Which bird?
A rabbit always come to our home. It says tweak, tweak.
Yeah, these all birds are only tweak. Okay. All
Okay.
right, Mahati.
I don't know this bird's name, but I'll try.
Okay. Oh my God, that was too good. That was really good. Very nice. Okay, thank you. So we'll come back to you, Meher. That's fine. So now Krishna was imitating all these different sounds of these different birds, and the boys were also making sounds, and they were all laughing to the top of their voice. They're just making all sort of sounds. Yeah, 1 second, hold on. Anything? You have a question?
I want to try to do.
There's a lot of opportunities. There are many
I
more
want
coming.
to
Okay, just
sound
hold
like
on.
a bird.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. It's not over yet. Just I'll come back to you. So all these different sounds they were making, and some of them are, here you go. Some of them are making sounds of, actually, you know what? I have a presentation. I totally forgot to share the presentation. I keep on talking. A presentation will be nice to see the pictures rather than looking at my terrible face. Um, I don't want you to be scared looking at my face all the time. Look at this.
Your
So
face is not terrible.
thank you. So here Krishna is playing. You can all watch, see the screen, right?
Yes,
Okay.
Prabhuji.
Okay. So this is those who have attended Maharaj, Rompal Maharaj lectures. You this shouldn't be different. It's pretty much it's the same presentation. Maybe Maharaj is much more detailed. So you can see here Krishna is with all the cows, with Balaram also there, and Krishna and Balaram are enjoying, and you can see the deers and the peacock and all those different birds and animals, right? Right here, and then Krishna started glorifying Balaram. Like you can go glorifying Balaram, and they're enjoying this whole scenery of the Vrindavan. Now you can see, this is what I was just saying. Now Krishna and Balaram and other friends are all that they're just imitating how the birds were doing, peacock, how the peacock walks. They were just walking and they're making sounds, various sounds like swan, right? And some of the boys got into really into it, and then they were making roaring sound. So Rukmini, you are there, right? You wanted to make some sound, right? You can make a sound of, are you there?
Yes, Prabhuji.
You're not there. Okay, let's move on to someone else. Who wants to make a sound of an animal? Okay,
Me.
Meher, go ahead.
Since I have birds at home, I know how they say. And this
Okay,
is a
all I
booming
want
sound.
you to, yeah, all I want you to do is just sound. Make a sound.
And the other one sing. Give it, give it, give it, give it, give it, give it.
Oh my God, you're professional. Okay, who else want to do the sound? Yeah, okay, Rukmini, go ahead. You are there.
I want to make a sound of a turkey.
Turkey, we're done with Turkey. We are in animal kingdom right now. You want to make some animal sound?
Yes, I'm gonna roar like a lion.
Okay. Oh my God, that's scary. Okay, good. All right. I'm not, since I'm sharing the screen, I'm not sure, I can't see everyone. So if I'm missing anyone, speak up and you can, uh, share your, maybe you need to share.
Prabhuji, I want to make a sound, Prabhuji.
You want to make some sounds? Okay, go ahead, make some sound.
Roar.
Rawr. Okay. All right, thank you, Anirudh. So you can see that the boys were having real good time. And then what happened was Balaram was a little tired, and then Balaram was lying down under the tree, placing his head on one of the gopas, one of the boy. And then you can see Krishna is very nicely massaging the feet of Balaram. You see that, right? So have you, Krishna, have you or Akshara, have you ever massaged your sister's feet anytime? Maybe you all kicked your sister, not massaged, right? So see how nicely Krishna is serving his brother. Like that, you should also serve your, older brother or sister, whomever you have. You should serve them, right? Mahati is already telling, see, after the class, you better massage me. That's what she's telling, maybe. Okay. So you can see how Krishna is nicely massaging, and the other boy is fanning Balaram. You can see that he's having some leaf in his hand, and then he's fanning Balaram. So after that, Krishna was also tired. So Krishna lied down on someone else, and then someone else was massaging. You can see here. Krishna got tired, and then he lied down, and then his friends were massaging his feet right here. Nice picture. Okay, so they were having nice time. As things were going very nicely, they were relaxing. Krishna's friend by the name Sridhama, okay, and along with his other friends Subhala and Stoka Krishna, they came, and they very affectionately spoke to Krishna. Krishna, Balaram, you know, um, there is close by, there is a palm tree, and this palm tree has lot of nice fruit, tal fruit, and it's very juicy, very tasty. That's what I have heard. And you can also smell it right from here. So Krishna, Balaram, could you please help us to get those fruits from that particular talvan? But here's the problem, that a talvan, that forest, is being protected by a demon. Now we are going to see another demon.
I
Okay.
know this one, the donkey
So
demon,
yeah.
which calls for rescue.
And
So
its name is Anukasura.
hold on. You can only speak when I ask you to speak, when I give a chance to speak. Okay.
Can you
Now,
wait for 1 second? I'll come from the bed.
now, Krishna's friends were just saying that, I know Krishna, this forest has been protected by this demon, very dangerous demon. He never shares these fruits with anyone. Um, but if you can please help us, it'll be really nice. There are a lot of fruits which has fallen. I heard that a lot of fruits has been fallen on the ground. Even if we can get some of those fruits, we'll be very happy. We really want to taste these fruits. Could you please help us? And Krishna said, not a problem. Don't worry about it. We can all go there and get the fruit for you. And Balaram was also excited about it. So let's see here. After they heard about Talavan, they did not care about the demon or any of those things. But then the information was already given to Krishna that this demon is in the form of a donkey. Have you all seen donkey? Any of you have seen donkeys? Yeah? Okay.
Maybe Prabhuji. Maybe Prabhuji.
I have a close encounter from a dog.
Maybe Prabhuji.
Okay. Good. So yeah, so the donkeys, he takes the form of a donkey, but is really not donkey. He's a demon. We have to be very careful. Krishna and Balaram said, don't worry about it. You people want to have the fruit, tal fruit. Therefore, let's go. And then Krishna went, Balaram went, they entered the Talvan. And Balaram, what he did is he caught hold of the tree with his two hands and started shaking the tree like this, tick, 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 like this, heavily he started shaking. As he was shaking the tree, all the fruit from the top started falling on the ground, making big sound. When a lot of fruits falls, it gets going to make some sound. And when the sounds, unusual sound was produced because of this, and the demon who was in charge of this forest was Dhenukasura. Dhenuka Asura. Dhenu means as a donkey. though he's an asura, he's not an ordinary donkey. He was an asura. So when he heard the sound, he came running to attack. As he was running, the whole earth was trembling, the trees were trembling, and it, you know, so he was just really, really heavy. He was just running. He saw that Balaram was doing this one. He came to attack Balaram. He just kicked. How many legs does a donkey have? It's a tough question. It's a
Four.
tough question, right? Four. Okay. So this donkey came and kicked Balaram on his chest, right on his chest. And being Balaram, he was not affected at all. He was just normal, but the donkey did not leave. He again came back and tried to kick. But Balaram, what he did was, let's move on. I just sometimes get carried away. I'm not moving the presentation here. So you can see here how they are all ready to go towards Talwan, the forest. They are all ready. Very colorful picture. And you see Balaram is just shaking the tree, Tal tree, and all the fruits are falling off. The boys are collecting some of them. Some of them are as it was falling from the top. They're just holding to the fruit as it was falling, and then they were just having a lot of good time. But then the Dhenukasura came, and then he was kicking Balaram, and then Balaram was caught hold of Dhenukasura's his legs.
Why won't Krishna do something?
What is that?
Why won't Krishna do something?
Yeah, hold on. The story is not over yet, right? We haven't finished the story. So Dhenukasura, Balram just got hold of Dhenukasura and then thrill like this, like this, like this, and then threw him up the sky. And he went, the Dhenukasura went, raised up the sky, and then he goes, zoom. He just landed on a tree, and dead. He was dead.
Oh,
He just vomited and he was dead. But then with the sound that it was made, there were other demons who are good friends of Dhenukasura, right? Dhenukasura had many other friends who are also demons in the form of form of the donkey. When they heard the sound, they just came into the scene. They saw what has happened to Dhenukasura. They got really, really, really angry, very angry. And then they started attacking Balaram. At that point of time, Krishna was there, and Krishna and Balaram, they just managed all those different donkeys, caught hold of them, and then swilled them, and then threw up the sky. And they all again went up. Each one of them landed on a tree. They dead. You can see here. Krishna is also holding one of the donkey and throw
oh.
the donkey up. Hold on. Let me
Prabhuji,
finish
the
the
story
story.
I learned from my mom, it tells that the Dhenukasura comes, like he goes into the air and then he can go in the air, run. And he charges to Krishna.
Yeah, he
And there's
charges to
also
Krishna.
trees rolling that trip the donkey.
Right. So as you can see this picture here, so they were all thrown into different trees. So this is really nice picture. You can see the donkey has demons with their faces and eyes. You can see how they are looking. Right. Various pictures of the same thing. How Krishna and Balaram are handling these different demons. Right. So here this is funny picture painting where you can see all some of the donkeys are upside down, hanging, dead, but still some of the donkeys are rushing. But Krishna and Balram happily handling these demons without any fear. but the boys were all having a nice time eating the fruit on the side, right? So that was going on. Everyone were killed. The demons were all killed, and Krishna and Balaram and their friends were all very happy. And the devatas from the sky, they started showering flowers on Krishna and Balaram, because the demon Dhenukasura was really a nuisance for devatas, also giving hard time. So when the demon Dhenukasura and other demons were killed, the devatas became very, very happy. Then after that, Krishna and Balaram, playing his flutes, called for all his cows and calves. They all got together and they returning back home. They were coming back home. As they were walking, they were again chatting and talking about what happened in the forest, how they spent their time, and having nice time, return back home. So that's the story of Dhenuka. But what we have to see is, what does this Dhenukasura represents? This Dhenukasura, like how we saw each and every demons, Dhenukasura represents materialistic intelligence and ignorance of spiritual knowledge. Let me tell what that means. So we might be very, very knowledgeable in many academic studies, school studies, but zero knowledge about Bhagavad Gita, zero knowledge about Bhagavatam, Krishna, and all those spiritual knowledge, right? That is what represented by Dhenukasura. So you may be very, very smart and good in science, math, whatever areas of studies that you're doing, right? Which are called material science. You may be very intelligent, but then if you don't have knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, knowledge of Krishna, then all this knowledge that we accumulated in the school is of no use. Is compared to uh, that the what, trash, compared to trash, which is in the garbage, right? So please understand, you as you're going to school, you're studying everything. You're also doing right now is also to learn more about Krishna. Learn Bhagavad Gita, study Bhagavatam, chant every day, do pujas, and do some offering, right, to Krishna. All those things has to be continued. If we are not having spiritual knowledge like this, only going to school is not going to be helpful. I will stop here and open up for any discussion. What you understood from Dhenukasura is very important. Going to school is important, but not going to school of Krishna school, right? Not studying about Krishna is not going to be helpful. That means a person is like Dhenukasura, who represents Dhenukasura. So Balaram comes and helps us. So we pray to Balaram. Balaram means Guru, representing Guru. So we take shelter of a Guru, and with the help of a Guru, we get power uh, to really deal with these sort of materialistic ideas and cultivate knowledge about Atma and Paramatma and do bhakti. That only happens through Guru. And Balaram represents Guru. So we should all have Guru in our life, spiritual Gurus who can teach us about Krishna, who can guide us, who can give good advices in our life, right? So that's very important that we all have Guru in our life. So we don't become a Dhenukasura. The Guru will teach us the right knowledge by which we can cultivate bhakti and successfully finish our life and go back to Krishna. That is the story of Dhenukasura. I'll now open up for discussions and questions if you all have anything to share. Okay, Rukmini, I see your hand raised. Let me unshare the screen so I can see you all in one screen. Go ahead. What's your question or comment?
Prabhuji, so what does Dhenukasura represent?
Dhenukasura represents ignorance of spiritual knowledge. Ignorance of spiritual knowledge means we don't we don't know that we are Atma, right? We are thinking ourselves to be the body, right? Are we the body, Rukmini?
No, we are the
Who-
spirits.
We are the spirit soul. So ignorance of that is what represented by Dhenukasura. So we pray to Balaram, we pray to Guru, so that ignorance will be killed. So we can understand we are Atma, there is Paramatma, and our service, our purpose of birth is to serve Paramatma by chanting and doing service to him.
Thank
Okay?
you. Thank you.
Okay, now let's hear from Bhavya.
Prabhuji, I have a question. So, like suppose that someone forgets Krishna while doing his material studies, etc., while being so much engaged in material studies, how can he regain his consciousness? How can he regain Krishna consciousness while also doing material studies, Prabhuji?
So you have to package. I'm sure you're already practicing these things, Bhavya. I know that I've seen you practicing this, but nice question. So we sandwich our daily activities. Sandwich our daily activities. How do we sandwich? Morning, you do your bhakti by chanting, doing deity service, reading Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, right? Or something like that. You can start your day like that, and then do your schools, do your studies, and in between your, I'm sure you're having prashadam, right? Your mom packs. Now it's all online, but in regular school, you have your prashadam. You eat prashadam. That time you think about Krishna. You're chanting Krishna's, Mahaprashadam prayer and think and eat Krishna prasad, correct? And then you come back home, get ready, and then with your father, mother, do some arati, do some kirtan, right? And then you play with your brother and whatever you're playing, that's all there. But then also you end your day with also doing some spiritual activities. You can read some nice stories before you go to bed. So in that way, your day is completely packed. Correct, Bhavya?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Is there any other ideas you can add besides what is little bit I said? I'm sure you know more ideas of how to be Krishna consciousness. Any other thoughts?
We could just do like from Bhagavad Gita. I can understand that when Krishna says whatever material activity you do, like whatever duty, your prescribed duty you perform, do it while remembering Krishna. Do it like, is this gonna please Krishna? Is that gonna please Krishna? And if we remember this, that if I do this activity, will it please Krishna? Then I'm like automatically remembering the Supreme Lord.
Very good. See, you know this wonderful. One more on the same line, for devotees, there is nothing which is not spiritual. Everything is spiritual. Your studies is also spiritual, right? Studies is spiritual. Everything can be spiritual. It's only people who doesn't have this understanding, who are like Dhenukasura, they see the difference between material thing and spiritual thing. First of all, they don't know material spiritual thing. If at all they come to know, they see these two things are different. But for the devotees, it's not two different things. It's the same things. Everything in Krishna's service, like how you said. Going to school, getting good grades, studying well, doing your assignments, everything is Krishna consciousness. Because everything can be used in Krishna's service. Okay, what else we have here? Akshara, Sarvari, you all have any feedback, any comment?
I think that the lesson that Dhenukasura gave was good because it shows that just because you're very materially advanced, it's not going to do much spiritually. So you have to be even in both, so that way you do good in material life, but you're able to return back to Krishna. And I have a question, Prabhuji. Dhenukasura is a demon who is in the form of a donkey. So all of his friends are also demons in the form of a donkey. So are they considered Dhenukasuras too or no?
Yeah, the Anukasura is a general name.
Okay.
Okay, Dhenu means donkey. That can be applied to anyone, but then he is specifically Dhenukasura because he is like a leader for everyone.
Okay.
Right? That's all it is
Thank you.
been called in that name. One thing I forgot to once you're done with the question, then we can go ahead and see about his previous life, what he was. Okay, Rukmini, what's your question?
So, Prabhuji, did the asuras help Krishna to teach um about manners? Like,
Oh, very intelligent question. Very intelligent question. So what Rukmini is asking is, are the demons that we are seeing are helping Krishna, so Krishna can teach us through this demon those good qualities or bad qualities which we should avoid.
Prabhuji, I might have the answer for that. I think so.
Oh,
Because
you want
I
to?
once asked you that.
Oh, you have the answer. Go ahead, Meher.
Yeah. So actually, they were, because in the previous lives they were really meant to come so that they can tell us like, hey, do not do this, otherwise you might go on to the wrong path and not onto the spiritual path. Am I right, Prabhuji?
Uh, nice try. It's a nice try. But here's the thing, Meher and Rukmini. They don't do it purposefully. They are really demons. They are not doing purposely, let me help Krishna, so that as people can learn from our mistakes and they don't do such mistake. They don't have that idea. They are really committing mistakes. Now they are not having that thought that they want to help Krishna. So they are committing something, and through this we are learning something. That's all. Okay, Rukmini?
Yes, and Prabhuji, I also have another question. So, did all of the asuras or rakshasas which Krishna killed go to the spiritual world?
Not everyone. Some of them goes to spiritual world. Some of them go to some temporary places and they come back. Some of them get liberated. Yes, that's spiritual world.
But did
Some of them,
Denakasura
some of,
get liberated?
some of them, for example, Nalakuvera and Manigreva, Krishna did not kill them, but then they delivered. Krishna delivered them. They did not go to spiritual world. They went back to their respective place. Some things like that.
But did Denukasura go to the spiritual world?
He went to a temporary place and then whatever according to his karma, he continues after that.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Not, that's a simple answer. Simple answer is not everyone get liberated. Some of them do get liberated by Krishna killing. Okay, and this is something for the bigger kids here. This question is too very much detailedly spoken in Maharaj Rompal Maharaj was here. Similar question has been asked several times, and you can find more details to that in those lectures. Thank you. Yes, Mahati.
Also, I have a comment that I like the whole class.
Thank you, Rukmini. Okay, Mahati.
I have a question. Does Balaram, like in the previous story, you said like Brahma after Balaram got to know like Krishna manifested himself into all those gopas and all those kids. Did he know? Then after that, did he know that Krishna was the spiritual, like the spiritual supreme personality of Godhead?
Yeah, obviously, yes, he knows.
Okay.
Thank you. Is that from the previous question, Bhavya? Your hand is raised still.
Prabhuji, there's a message in the.
You have another question?
Yeah, so from all the problems, the solution is chanting the holy name of the Lord. So, how can we develop our taste in chanting Hare Krishna Mahamudra?
By continuously chanting, you get used to it. Right? Initially, none of us like to do certain things, but then we constantly keep doing things. We get used to it, right? So the babies like to drink milk. They don't like to. Uh, uh, recently we had some annaprasna, the first grain giving ceremony. Um, to Ara. Um, Ara is Aradita, our Bhopal Prabhu's Shivangi Mataji's baby, because she is used to only drinking milk. When we gave her the first grain of something on her mouth, she was pushing it off. She didn't want to take it because that's something she never tasted before. She's been all the while only drinking milk.
And she was also crying.
Yeah, she was also crying. But then what happens, Bhavya? Eventually, as they keep taking the grain, feeding, slowly, that becomes an habit, right? So we are all so much conditioned. Initially, we don't like to chant, but then we constantly chant. And when we are chanting, it will be nice, Bhavya, if you put Prabhupada's chanting, or if you can chant with your brother, with your mom and dad, at least few rounds together. Okay, I know you're chanting, but at least few rounds sit together with someone who is also chanting with you. And if you chant in that way, you can certainly see a difference of you chanting yourself and you chanting with someone else. And you please share with that experience with me offline or next time, and you will see certainly a difference in the quality of we chanting alone and we chanting with someone else.
Hmm.
Okay, Bhavya.
O- Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay, any other questions?
Abuja, are you also going to show us about the previous life of the Anukasura?
Thank you for reminding me. Let me. Okay.
And also, what is the like the homework for the class when the class is over? What's
Okay.
the homework?
Yeah. 1 second. Okay, here it is. Let me share the screen. Okay, you see the screen? Yeah. So Dhenukasura, in his previous lives, he was a powerful son of King Bali. You all know Bali Maharaj? You all know the story of Bali Maharaj,
Demon Bali.
right?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
His name was Sahasika. So what he did was, like any other people, he was also, enjoying his life, having good time, Gandhamadana mountain, in Gandhamadana mountain. And close by was the great Rishi, Durvasa Muni. He was doing his meditation in a cave. But then because of all this, musical instrument playing and a lot of singing going on and a lot of noise was happening on the other side, Durvasa Muni was quite annoyed, disturbed. And Durvasa Muni is very well known for, cursing people. Um, not like our curses. We not how we curse people. His curses are beneficial for everyone. So he went and cursed a Sahashika, saying that you fool, you rascal, you are like a donkey. You have a mentality like a donkey. Therefore, you will be born as a donkey, and you'll be realizing your mistake, right? Later, and you'll be killed by Balaram. And then, as it says, then you'll be liberated. Someone asked the question, was he liberated? So he was liberated. Again, the different types of liberation is also there. Those are a lot of details for this age. Okay, any other questions?
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Uh,
Prabhuji,
who has a question? Rukmini, go ahead.
what is the homework?
Homework is just to meditate on the Anukasura story and then see what you can learn from the story in this week, how you can apply what you learned this week. What is the message that we learned from the Anukasura, Rukmini?
You should not be foolish
You should not be foolish,
and
and
you should also and you should share.
you should not be foolish. You should do your school activities, but do not forget your bhakti. Whatever you're doing, that bhakti should carry on. And you should always remember that I'm Atma. That knowledge comes by hearing to gurus. Okay?
Thank you,
I think
Prabhuji.
Bhavya has a question. What's Bhavya? What's your question, Bhavya?
There are two questions in the chat, Prabhuji.
Oh, is it what? Let me check the chat. Okay, this is from Greg. In today's pastime, is Balaram considered an avatar or expansion energy of Lord Krishna when Balaram killed Dhenukasura? Why does Lord Krishna himself not kill Dhenukasura? Okay, so first part, nice questions. Krishna, Balaram are identical, and Balaram is an expansion of Krishna. That's the answer for the first question. Balaram is an expansion of Krishna. At times, it's also said as avatar. So it's just a terms how we you use it. So it doesn't whether it's expansion or whether it's avatar, pretty much they have um, the same potency. Of course, avatar means there are variations of avatars there, but then it's all Krishna's expansion. That's the answer for the first one. Why does Lord Krishna himself not kill the Anukasura? That's a nice question. Because um, the anarthas, the bad things that we have, the knowledge, ignorance of we are not this body has to be removed, and that removal of ignorance is done by Guru, and Balaram represents Guru. Therefore, one should have Guru in their life to get Krishna. When Guru comes in our life, he removes our ignorance, our wrong ideas, and gives knowledge to us. Therefore, Dhenukasura, who represents ignorance of spiritual knowledge, is killed by Balaram, meaning when Guru comes in our life, he kills and destroys the ignorance of spiritual knowledge and gives the spiritual knowledge to us. That is why Balaram kills Dhenukasura. That's one reason. Does it answer? Okay, thank you. The next question is Bhavya. What does it mean to surrender into Krishna? That's a big topic. That's a big topic to discuss in 11 minutes. And we've been often touching that topic here and there. What is your understanding, Bhavya, surrendering means? First, let's start from there, and then we may not be able to answer the entire question, but we can just touch few points here.
Prabhuji, I think that following Krishna's instructions and saying that, oh Krishna, you're my master, and then bowing down to him, something like that.
That's the answer. Then you know the answer. You already know the answer. So just following what Krishna says is instruction. That means I surrender to you, Krishna. And whatever is happening in my life, it's all under your control. I do not try to control myself. My life is under your lotus hands, your will. You take over and run the show. But that does not mean that we do not eat, we do not sleep, we do not do what we need to do. We do everything because we want to continue doing those things as a service to Krishna. As long as we are in this body, we have to do those things, our duty. If you say that I am surrendered, therefore I don't need to chant, I don't need to do service, Krishna will do everything for me. That's not the idea. As we eat, as we sleep, as we do whatever we do on a daily basis, bhakti should also continue. In fact, once we surrender, the bhakti quality of bhakti will be multiplied many times with good quality. Okay, Bhavya? Okay, good. All right. Any other question from our adults, bigger audience, bigger kids? Any comments, corrections? Oh, of course, Greg had asked one question. Anyone else? No questions? Okay. Back to Ashok Prabhu. Thank you all very much. Back to Ashok Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. It was very good class. Uh, just to uh, let everyone know that we'll try to be regular from now every Saturday. I think there was a large gap of 4 weeks, so I think it'll take people some time to get back in the rhythm. But thank you so much for a very nice class, Prabhu.
Thank you. You all have a wonderful and safe long weekend, and we'll again meet next Saturday. Thank you. Hare Krishna.